my family has money and they can support me, but I model because I love to model, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So I don't think it's fair that they made me sound greedy about it and all, because I model because I love to model, and that's really all there is to it.
That was Ivanka Trump as a little brat. Now, as a grown-up brat, Ivanka Trump just got swatted down by the New York Appellate Division when Ivanka Trump sought an emergency appeal to try to block the New York Attorney General civil fraud trial from proceeding further. That's right. Ivanka Trump not only appealed the decision by the judge presiding over the New York Attorney General civil fraud case, Judge Arthur Engoron, as the case is now in its fifth week, when Judge Engoron ruled that even though she's no longer a defendant, she would have to testify next week during the sixth week of the New York Attorney General civil fraud trial. She not only appealed that decision, but she went to the appellate division and said, because her testimony is scheduled to take place in the middle of a school week, I kid you not, she cited the fact that it was the middle of a school week. That's why I showed you that clip at the beginning, because it's the most immature argument imaginable, that she was too busy and it would cause her an undue hardship to have to testify. So she not only said to the Court of Appeal, can you reverse Judge Engoron's decision compelling me to testify in the case? She said, you should stop the entire trial for me, Ivanka, even though I'm no longer a defendant, because the appellate division said the claims, at least that relate to her, were outside of the statute of limitation. She says, I'm a third-party witness, and I want you to stop the entire case just because I said so. Here's the order from the appellate division. It was a short and very terse order. Pull it up right here. Application for interim stay pending decision on the motion is denied, dated November 2nd, 2023. And so Ivanka Trump is arguing that she should not have to testify at all and that the trial should be stopped. So what this order simply says is that we are not stopping the trial. So if Donald Trump thought he was going to be using this, which I'm sure he thought he was going to try to do, so that he doesn't have to testify next week after Eric and Don Jr. testified, and by the way, did the most horrific job ever. The court said, what are you talking about? The appellate division. This case is going to be proceeding, so Ivanka's request is denied. But I want you to think about this. If we just take away all of the facts for a second in the case, even though facts and evidence matters, just think about if you had a family member who you believed was being falsely accused of something, and you believed that you had the information to help those family members out. Could you, unless you despise the family member, which you shouldn't, but who knows? But I don't know the situation. Could you imagine a situation where you would not voluntarily show up to try to help your family member who you believe to be falsely accused of something? So I want you to think about it from this perspective. If Ivanka Trump truly believed that her family members were being falsely accused by the New York Attorney General in the civil fraud case, just think about it from that angle. She's deciding that she does not want to testify. And so she's made all of these arguments why she shouldn't testify. The most ridiculous one is the one she made to the appellate division when requesting the stay, by the way, by saying because it is a school week and that she has children, that takes priority over a court case. Whoa, must be nice to make that type of argument to her. How entitled and privileged can you be to even think that's an argument that you could make? I mean, it's almost as absurd, although the entitlement would be much higher, what Ivanka did, to say, you know what, the dog ate my homework. For her to say, you know what, my own personal family issues are more important than the New York Attorney General civil fraud case. I don't know. That must be nice. But the other things that she argued is that I'm now a Florida resident. I'm no longer a New York resident. I have no attachment to the state of New York, was one of the arguments she made. She also said, but this court case is just about the damages. Judge Engoron, you already found that my brothers and my father were liable. So why do you even need me here? What information can I provide to you since they're already, my testimony is just going to be redundant. You don't need me to testify. And then Ivanka also argued, what's this Trump organization? I have no attachment to the Trump organization. I don't do anything with the Trump organization anymore. To which Judge Engoron responded, what? To which the New York Attorney General responded, what? Of course you do. When the Trump organization sold the old postal office, you got money, lots of it. Who pays your credit card bills? Oh, is that the Trump organization? Who pays for your apartment? Oh, is that the Trump organization? Your names are all over these. What do you mean you don't have a relationship with this case, or you don't have a relationship with the Trump organization? There is jurisdiction in New York, and you have to show up just like any of us would have to show up.
For me, having life insurance and understanding the importance to protect your family and everything you've worked so hard for is crucial. I recently got married, and that peace of mind knowing my family would be okay in a worst-case scenario is so important. It is never too late to get coverage. SelectQuote has helped people save 50% or more by shopping highly rated insurance carriers. They do the legwork and research for you. Listen to this. SelectQuote found a 40-year-old man a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month, and all of this was in minutes. Want to cross this off your list fast? SelectQuote can offer up to $2 million in instant affordable coverage with no medical exam required. So whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, their licensed insurance agents can help you find the right policy for you, your family, and your budget. Plus, quotes are completely free and take only minutes. We're all busy, but do me a favor. Take a couple of minutes today to get your free quote. Go to SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com. Details on the sample rate at SelectQuote.com.
Here's what the court said, and I thought this was very powerful. This is what Judge Engoron said about the trial and about Ivanka's motion to try to not have to testify. This is from Judge Engoron. Engoron said this on October 27th. She then filed an appeal to Engoron's order. Here's the order right here. And then she filed this motion to stay. The motion to stay is what was denied. Here's what Judge Engoron said. Let me start with two basic ancient principles for which no citation is necessary. A trial is a search for the truth, and the law is entitled to every person's evidence. On the other hand, we don't compel people to testify unless the court has personal jurisdiction over them. As we learned in law school in the International Shoe case, personal jurisdiction to satisfy due process has two elements: notice and power. Here, the power of the court to compel Ms. Trump into court to testify. In this case, notice is clear, which is why we are here. And in any event, I think it was essentially conceded by Ivanka's attorney. I find the power element is also clearly satisfied here. The due process element is satisfied where the non-domiciliary has minimum contacts with New York State, and based upon those contacts, the non-domiciliary could or should have reasonably anticipated being hailed into court. And that's more or less an exact quote or paraphrase from this case. So you understand what Judge Engoron's saying is that for New York judge in a civil case, criminal's different because criminal, there are statutes that allow a court to get jurisdiction of somebody outside of the state by making a finding, and then the prosecutors have to then bring the court's finding into the other state and then get that court to compel the person where there is jurisdiction to go into another state. So civil case is different. And here, what Judge Engoron's saying is that the standard for someone who claims to not be domiciled, not live in New York, Ivanka claims she lives in Florida, is could they or should they have reasonably anticipated being hailed into this court in New York? Also, this phrase is ingrained in all lawyers. Quote, Ms. Trump has clearly availed herself of the privilege of doing business in New York. Finally, plaintiff's papers make abundantly clear by documentary evidence that Ms. Trump owns property in New York, an apartment, and has done business in New York with the Trump Organization. Even Ms. Trump's own papers admit that she is occasionally here. With all due respect to her lawyer, the record is devoid of any evidence because we don't have a sworn statement from Ms. Trump that she does not currently or has not recently done business here. The time to submit any such affidavit in the first place was in the moving papers. Movement made the argument there is no jurisdiction over her, and it was her burden to provide an affidavit of someone with personal knowledge, meaning herself, to substantiate that. It is black letter law that you may not use a reply brief to state facts that should have been in your moving papers. Basically, we don't know what she does or doesn't do because only she could tell us, and now it's too late to tell us that now. That should have been, could only have been made when she moved, claiming there was no jurisdiction. That's what you do in the motion to quash a subpoena. And I've seen that all of the time. So the motion is denied, right? So there you have Judge Engoron saying, again, Trump's, you're not putting forward evidence. The evidence, if you claim that there was not jurisdiction, was to put an affidavit under penalty of perjury signed by Ivanka Trump. You did not do that. So you've not put forward a scintilla of evidence. On the other hand, the New York Attorney General, they did an affidavit and they put the evidence and they show that she has these contacts with the state of New York. So your motion is denied. Then Ivanka goes to the appeals court, the appellate division. They reject her stay to block the case. So not a great day for Ivanka, but a great day for justice. And again, it's not Judge Engoron's like, I don't like Ivanka, I don't like Donald, therefore I'm doing it. No, submit the evidence. Evidence. You get the point. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. And check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Have a great one.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.